Hi, Dave Weiss here with the Amok Arts video blog of the day. I call this one Why I Do What I Do, and I think I'm doing this one today because there are times where we all need encouragement. There are times where we all sit there and struggle and wonder, why are we doing this? In my case, I love what I'm doing. I really can't say I ever have complaints about anything that I'm doing, but there are times where it just seems like things are not progressing the way I'd like them to. And of course, in those times, we want to ask God a whole bunch of questions, but here's the thing, God is always good. And so as I look at why I do what I do, I'm hoping that it will help you to remember why you do what you do. One of the first things I remember is I do this for God. I mean, when I first came to God, I was a mess. I was really in rough shape, and things were not going well at all in my life. And I met somebody who cared enough to take the time to introduce me to Jesus. And I'm here to tell you that really turned my life around. I mean, if I do nothing else than just tell people about God, my life is all right, because, God has made such a difference in my life. He took me from being a real mess to where I am today, which, admittedly, if you look at life in terms of worldly success, okay, I'm not there. But, if you look at it in terms of where I could have been, I mean, life is awesome, and God has been so good to me. So the first reason I do it is very simply just for God. The second reason I do what I do is because I feel like I need to encourage people. I feel like there are a lot of people out there who really could use some encouragement. People who could really do great things, and they've got people around them and voices around them that are just beating them down and keeping them from doing great stuff. One of the things I love to do is just write letters of encouragement and notes of encouragement to friends, especially my young friends. I have a lot of young Facebook friends, especially people from the theater community, and I just love to drop them a little notes of encouragement, because here's the thing. It seems to me in our society that the only way a kid can really get attention most of the time, other than athletics, which is a whole other ball of wax, but the only other real way for a kid to get a lot of attention in society is to do something wrong. And I just think there's something really wrong with that. So I like to catch people, especially young people, doing something right, and just encouraging them to be what God created them to be and just do great things with their lives, because, there are a lot of great things out there to be done. I mean, one of the reasons I'm so passionate and so involved with the theater is because I love to help give kids opportunity to do great things. My friend Ben always says, kids will do great things if you give them great things to do. And so I love to have the opportunity to share and give people, especially young people, opportunities to do great things with their gifts. And then there's the third thing, sometimes when you do something like this, it's very anonymous and you really don't get a lot of feedback, especially videos and video blogs and things like that. You're putting them up on the internet and you don't really know who sees them, and you don't really know if they're doing any good. You do them because you enjoy them, because you love them, and you feel like you're being faithful, which is a real big key. But then every once in a while something happens and you get a note like this one. A couple of months back, maybe a year back, I did this video called Jellyfish, and I'm going to attach the video to this video blog so you can see it for yourself. And it's basically about Phil Vischer, the guy who invented the Veggie Tales, and he's created this company called Jellyfish now. And it's kind of based on the rise and fall of the company that he founded, Big Idea Productions, and how now, rather than having long-range plans and all this other stuff, he's just being guided by the Spirit and just kind of going with the flow like a jellyfish does. Well, I got this note from a young lady, and she said, "I'm a 17-year-old who just finished Phil Vischer's book. Getting ready to go to college is scary, and I wasn't sure if the plans I was making fit God's plan for me at all. Then I watched Phil's interview, and I felt like a jellyfish had just smacked me in the face. When I talked about it at school, people thought I was crazy. Watching your video makes me want to run after God even more. I just might explode with excitement. Thank you for making this video." Man, I have to tell you, when I read that, I was at a place where I wasn't terribly encouraged. And I read that and it was like, you know what? It really is working. And things really are happening, and God really is using this stuff. And I hope He's using it in your life as well as you watch this. I hope He uses this to encourage you in some way, because God has blessed you with talent and with abilities that you can use to do amazing things in this world. I just really encourage you to get a hold of that. Grab a hold of that. Don't let anybody talk you out of it. Do what you feel God is leading you to do. Hold on to your plan softly so that God can change it if he wants to. But keep moving forward and keep doing what he wants you to do. Keep being faithful. That's the one thing I want to leave you with today. I'm not convinced that we are responsible for growth. I'm not convinced that we're totally responsible for success, at least not in God's kingdom. I think back to the verse that I talked about a little bit last week. It's the verse in 1 Corinthians 3 where Paul talks about how Paul planted and Apollos watered, but God made it grow. And I think what Paul's saying in that verse is that we need to be faithful with what we're called to do and trust everything else to God. So don't sit around wondering, is the thing that I'm doing successful? Is the thing that I'm doing worthwhile? Just pray about it, and if you feel like God is leading you to do it, just do it and trust him with success. See, I believe God measures success for us in faithfulness. And that if we're faithful, he'll make it successful in his own time, in his own way. So just keep pressing on and doing what he's calling you to do. He's why I do what I do. Why do you do what you do? And then one last thing. I challenge every person who watches this video today to catch someone doing something right and give them the encouragement that there are times that you could use. May God bless you today as you do great things for him. And remember, anything you do faithfully for him is a great thing. God bless.